Welcome everyone to the stream, and today is about puzzles and opening prep. Road to 2200 ELO point on chess.com and Lichess. And today I'll be studying the opening on Chessable and doing some puzzles on Lichess. So let me turn off the music and start. So we've got puzzle here. Thanks for joining the stream. So this is a 1500 rated puzzle. White to move. What's the move? White to move. White to move. Thanks for joining the stream. White to move. Rook e7 is check. Oh, my bad. This is the black king. So if rook takes d4, check. King takes d4, rook, king takes f6, king e5, takes, king takes g5, king f3, yeah, king takes h5, the king has to come to g2, and you are in time to play g4, g5, g6, g7, g8 queen. So I think that is absolutely a move. Yeah, we got it right. So that was this. If queen e4, king takes here, we have this, and the king is forced to go back. So let's move to the next puzzle. We've got 1699 puzzle rating on Lichess. Black to move. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, probably need to add some music. Okay, let me add some music. Yeah, one sec. Black to move. These pawns are far gone. If c8 queen, rook takes c8, king takes c8, g7, this is beautiful. Okay, black to move. What's the move, chat? What's the move? Rook d4 check, and we just up the king further, and c8 queen. If only there was a way to queen, while preserving the queen and the rook, because after even rook c3, rook takes c3, king takes c3 with queen. I mean, a queen and 2 pawns, I think that is definitely winning. So rook c3 takes queen, and with g1 queen we have queen g1, then we pick up the queen on g8. So let's move on. Black to move. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Black to move. Find the best move for black. So something seems obvious, which is we have this check, but then we loses the pawn. If rook takes d4, cd4, f5, if king takes c4, f4, king d3, f3, king e2, and the king is in time to save this pawn. But after rook takes d4, cd4, if you play king d5, we stop the pawn on d4, we protect our pawn on c4, and we are able to queen. So I think that is a move. So let's take. Yes, that is a completely move. So that was the move. So about 15-20 minutes of puzzle and another 30 minutes of opening study. So black to move, we need to find the best move for black. So what's the best move for black here, chat? What's the best move? What is the best move for black? There's knight d4, but after queen d4, what do we have? Well, what happens after bishop takes f4? We are up 2 pieces for the no. I think this is just a free pawn. No, that's not a free pawn. So we take on. Okay. Okay. If you take on f4, there's knight f6, check and picking up the queen. Okay, that's a very sneaky move. So after d4, rook takes e4. Do we have anything that wins? So d4, rook takes e4. Queen takes d3, queen d3, knight takes d3, and our bishop on a3 is loose. What is the move for black? Black to move. Black to move. What is the move? We need to get rid of this knight while we are able to capture this pawn. So bishop takes f4, knight f3, check. Okay. This is very tricky thing to do. If only there's a zook swang, give a check to pick it up. So what is the move for black? So after e4, f3. Yeah. I mean, the rook is trapped anyways. If only there was a quiet move in this. So knight takes d3, knight f6 check, let's say king g7, knight picks up the queen on d7, and we have, oh, I think I almost found a way for it. Yeah. This is the move. Yeah. I was thinking knight g4, but there's still knight f6 anyway. So knight takes f6, rook takes f6, and the rook escapes. If knight takes, yeah, knight takes d3, knight f6 check. Let's say king g7. If the knight picks up the queen, we go f7 check, but the rook takes on f7, bishop takes f7, and after that there's knight d7. So this doesn't seem better. So what do you think? After d4, rook takes e4. We simply have no threats. White to move. White to move. I mean, you can just decide to preempt the square. Yeah, which is the obvious. I was thinking this could take, oh, there's always this at the end of the line. Yeah, my bad. We missed that one. On to the next. We missed that one. So black to move. I mean, I immediately see rook g1 check, but after king takes at h2, and if he takes here now, wow. You see d6 and queen takes f6. We are definitely down too many materials. Well, there's actually rook g1 check. After king takes h2, we have knight f6 check. That is actually checkmate. Yeah. So rook g1 check, king h2 only move, then we have knight f6 checkmate. So this appears to be very, very good. It's nice to find that. Thanks for joining the stream. So we have black to move. Find the best move for black. I immediately see this. I don't even think that does something much. So after rook c2 check, the king comes to g3. There's rook g1 check. Well, rook c2 check, king f3. Thinking about this, but the queen takes, and after rook b2 there's always rook d1, and we can't take because we are just down too many materials. So rook c2 seems like the very, very obvious move in this position, but the king can just decide to go back, and after that, what is our move? There's knight c2 to knight e3. If we could get that, that would have been so nice. But in this kind of position, I think we want, oh yeah, so this wins, and we pick everything up. Yeah, that was so easy to miss. Apparently the king was not in a very much safe square. So we can do one last one, and we go to the opening study. What have we got here? White to move. So after this check, if king takes, there's queen d5 check. The bishop can come here. Because that leaves the queen hanging. So if queen d6, then we pick up the pawn on b7, threatening to take on a8. If we decide to go queen d5 first, I think black is in time to play rook d8. What are you thinking? So check. If queen takes, we have rook takes e5 check, and there's no fe5 because the pawn here is pinned. So let's do this. Wow, that is absolutely the wrong move. So probably what we could have done was this or this. Then we do this. Oh, then we just lower the queen. This is much better. Oh, that was a very, very clear oversight. So one last one, then we'll move to opening study. Black king is on g7, which looks scary. There probably will be lots of study. One thing I immediately saw was queen takes h6. After king h6, there should be rook f7 check, picking up the queen. That's not possible because of the rook on f8. So after this, rook takes e6 check and d6. We don't have, yeah. So after knight takes c6, d6. We have the queen to ourselves, so that is a very good tactics. So pick up the queen, and okay, that seems about strange. Do we just go back now? Or there's something else to capture here? Well, queen d4 would have been good, but then the knight here protects that. Yeah. Thanks for joining the stream. So let's say, how do we save the queen? We can't give a check here. There's no check here. There's none here. We can't go here. The queen can't go here. Not here. Not here. The only available square for the queen is to essentially go back. Yes, that's the move. So I'll be moving on to opening study now. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We did 8 puzzles. Missed 2, got 6 right. So let's move to opening study. Let's move to opening study. One sec. And there you go. We have our opening study. One more thing to do is to bring up the followers count, which should be about here, on hide and save, and that should be there now. So thank you for joining the stream, guys. It's nice to have you around. So this is the bird opening on Chessable. It's a course by GM Raven in conjunction with the Ginger GM. As you already know, the road to 2200 is we're trying to play a lot of sharp position, and I've taken the chance to purchase this Chessable course on the bird. So this is the quick starter guide. Let me see if I can show you. So this is the quick starter guide. I don't think that's possible. So, introduction to the bird. Let's play the bird. So let's start studying. Next variation, e4, one sec. I have no idea why that is showing. I have no idea why that is showing. Yeah. Apologies for that. So we are learning the bird 1 f4, 1 f4, which is the bird 1 f4. So how do we go about this? Which is 1 f4 as the bird. So we are looking at 1 f4 against the move 1 d5 by black, and I think this is one of the most challenging moves in the bird. So after d5 we play knight f3. After knight f6 we go e3. After bishop g5, this is the most popular moves in the 1200 to 1800 online. We play h3, and after the bishop takes on f3, we take back with the queen, which is not bad. So we take back with the queen. When the knight comes to c6, we go bishop b5. So bishop b5, we take on c6. Any chance we get to doubles black pawn structure, we go for it. So there's always the option of knight c3 or knight d2. So we play d3 to keep our options open. And after bishop d6, we play knight c3, knight c3, castles, and we close down the center, having a monopoly over f5. And if de4, there's always de4, probably b3, bishop b2, and our rook coming to d1, staring at the queen. So play e4. So let's go over the move, and this is why one of the reasons why Chessable is good is it prompts you to probably know the moves correctly. So the move was f4. After d5, we play knight f3, the bird system. And after knight f6, we play e3. And after bishop g4, we play h3. If bishop takes on f3, queen f3. After knight c6, we play bishop b5. If white decides to play a6, we take the knight anyway. And let's say bishop e7, we take the knight on c6. And after bc6, we play d3, keeping our options open. So let's get through the first move, f4, d4, d5 is the move. We go knight c3, we go e3. After h3, if the bishop takes, in this position, if the bishop refuses to take on f3, there's g4, and the bishop is trapped. After g4, let's say h3, bishop h5, g4, bishop g6, then we have f5, winning black light square bishop. So let's take back with the queen. After knight at c6, we go bishop b5, and e6, we take, we play d3, keeping our options open for knight d2 or knight c3. And after bishop d6, we go knight c3 anyways. Black has castled, we decide to castle as well, but we do have the better pawn structure. So after e4, we go e5. So let's do that one more. That's f4. If d4, we go knight f3. If knight f6, we go e3s anyways. And after bishop g4, we play h3. If white takes, we take it back with the queen on f3. After knight c6, we play bishop b5 and e6. we take the knight on c6 with a check. After b6, then we go d3, and after d3, white can decide to play bishop d6 or bishop e7. Either move, we can go to knight c3 or knight d2. So let me continue with that before the timer runs down. This is one of the good things about Chessable, is that after you get it right, it prompts you one more time to do it over again. So let's play knight f3, knight f6. We play e3 anyway, stopping d4. We play hdd, take back, play bishop b5, pinning the knight. We take, after d3, opening this up, play knight c3. We castle, we play e4. So let's do this one more time. And this is one of the benefits of Chessable, is that it prompts you to go over the opening over and over again. This is not a sponsored video. This is what I use for studying, because I'm just trying to learn the bird. I figure out this is one of the best ways to just go about is to get a course on Chessable and follow through with the author. So one more time, the move here is f4, and after d5 we go knight f3, the normal system, and after knight f6 we go e3. Those are all basic moves in the bird. And after bishop g4 we go h3, open to trade the bishop, and the bishop takes on f3, we take with queen f3. So let me go for the timers run off. So we have completed learning this particular setup. So most of the time, one thing I like to do is just, go to, one thing I like to do is just to go to Lichess and see if I can remember the moves at the top of my head and probably look why this is favorable or why that is better. So I will switch this in now to Lichess. Yes, so I'm transitioning back to Lichess, and I'll go over how I do it. So you want to go to tools. I mean, you can probably use Lichess for your opening study as well if you don't have Chessable or you're not interested in buying any course on there. So this is what I do is, I know what I'm studying was f4, and after d5 you go knight f3, after knight f6 you go e3, which is the normal setup. You probably want to wonder, okay, why? And after d3, what happens if I go d4? You see, the knight is on, the pawn is on prey. So this is one of the common moves at the 1200 and 2800 level, which is bishop g4. You see, this has been played 29% times by white. No, this has been played 19%. 19% over the time. G3 is mostly played here. So I'll probably be doing a stream in the future on how you can build your opening study just using Lichess and any available free site. So to properly do it, you probably want to have your own private study session. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. You can create a study and keep a private file on your own in case you don't want to go back to Chessable every time and look at the files. So let me turn off the engine, and this is the Dutch variation. So what the course recommends is that if black go g4, we don't have any issues with that. We threaten h3, and what I was showing was that the bishop can't go to h5 because of g4, and after bishop g6 we have f5, and the bishop here is a donut. We're going to be up a bishop for black extra pawn, so this is clearly a donut. So obviously if you're playing bullets, I had a game yesterday or 2 days ago where I was playing a bullet and someone just missed that. After h3 they decided to retreat the bishop, and here, and I just went here, then I was up a bishop, and I went on and convert the position cleanly. So let's go back. From the move, I know after h3 black takes, and after queen takes, if they decide on knight c6, we go bishop b5 anyway. Whatever black does here, maybe a6. If black plays a6, I'm very sure we have to take on c6, but I'm not sure of what to do after queen d7. Maybe we just play maybe d3. Let's see if d3 is a move. So knight c3 would have been better, and we can see multiple lines. So let's see the top engine recommendation here. So b3 is a move, and d3 is a move. So we play d3, and after a6 we retreat the bishop. Thank you, Freya, for the follow. So we see what to do here, and we just retreat back. However, if black decided not to save the knight and play e6 as seen in the course, so we take here and we get a chance to double black's pawn, and after taking here we play d3 again, keeping our options open to go to c3 or d2. I'm just going through this at the top of my head from the course. This is probably what you want to do when you're studying opening, is to see how many moves you are able to understand, and if you could give a solid reason for why that particular move is good. I probably played about 8-10 games in the bet structure. I've only been able to win 2 games because I'm still new to the structure. It's going to be very challenging at first, but I do like the position I'm getting out of it. I'm not losing because of the opening. I'm losing because of simple tactical oversight and not calculating properly. So, and at my current level of 1400 to 1500, probably people are not going to expect the bet that much, and that gives you a chance to get a fighting game. I used to be a 1e4 player, but people are pretty much booked up on 1e4. So after d3, what we see here was black can decide to go bishop d6, and after bishop d6 we play knight c3 anyway. d4 is still not possible because this pawn is going to be hanging. So white decide to castles, then we castles, and this is where the first opening, the first variation stopped. And probably in my next stream I'm probably going to be showing how to create your own study, and you're basically copying what you have on Chessable to Lichess. Of course, you don't want to make this public. You don't want to be selling this, because I think that probably infringes the rights of Chessable. So when you have it on your own file at Lichess, you want to keep it private and not resell it to other people. So we are done with the first variation in the course. So we move to the next stage, and in this course it is called the solid pin, which is knight f6 on the second move. So we go over it again. We go f4, and d5 is probably one of the challenging moves against the bird. So after d5 we go knight f3 as usual. After knight f6 we go e3, and after h3 takes, we take back on f3. In this move you could see white has delayed. So where this second move was different was in the first one, white decided to play knight c6, but obviously for someone who has, if you see people who know or have constantly played, I'm sorry I didn't transition that, apologies for that. So let me go over it again for those who didn't see it. So this is the second variation of knight f6, or other possible ways on how black can continue. So let's say f4, which is obviously what we'll be playing, d5. Black is trying to, have a control over the center, since we decided not to play e4. So e4 here is just going to be a gambit. I'm sure that is not sound. So we play knight f3, knight f3, knight f6, and that's the second move. So we are studying knight f6 second move. So if we probably get to other chapters, there will be c4 as the second move. Probably there will be something like this, knight c6 on the second move. I have no idea, as I'm just studying this myself. So let's go knight f6, and we go e3, which is the bed. After bishop g4, we play h3, hoping to trade this queen as soon, the bishop as soon as we can. So we take, and black deviates from playing knight c6. They went e6, but that's no problem. We developed the knight to c3 anyways. So c3, black bishop b4, pinning this knight, but it doesn't do much. But we go g4, immediately discouraging black from castling, because this knight is going to be under heavy fire now. Black can decide to take on c3. I'm probably sure we take back with the d pawn. I will play g5 anyways. So let's see what the course recommends. So after bishop b4, we play g4, which I was clearly wrong. We were to take with the b pawn. I think the reason why is that we can always have our bishop on a3, scoping this diagonal. So after bc3, we play bc3 and play d3. It appears to me that d3 is always a very important move in the bed structure. So after knight d7, black is avoiding bringing the knight to c6, because there's always option for us to trade the knight. We go d3, and that is the end of that line. So let's go over it, which is f4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, we play e3, bishop g4, h3, bishop takes on f3, queen takes f3, after e6, plays knight c3. If I decide to, black is trying as much as possible to delay bringing the knight to c6, but we don't mind. We go immediately for the jugular with g4, and after takes and knight d7, then we play d3. So let's go over it one more time. So f4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, e3, bishop g4, h3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, and after e6 we play knight c3, and after bishop b4 we go g4, bishop takes bc3, knight d7, then we play d3. So to go over this again, to make sure you've probably clearly understood what you were studying, so you want to probably go to Lichess again. So you want to go to Lichess. One sec. So Lichess, and yes. So what we are looking in the course was f3, d5, immediately fighting for the center. I will play knight f3 anyways, and after knight f6 we play e3, with bishop g4, h3. If the bishop decides to take on f3, queen takes f3, and instead of knight c6 by black is trying as much as possible to delay this. They went for e3, then we go knight c3 anyways, and after bishop b4, what I was looking at is there d4 from black. There's no d4, and this is why you need to be able to do this on your own. You probably want to look at every possible move that you think black may have tried. I'm looking at e5, but this just loses a pawn. So what are the moves from black here? There's bishop b4, which is the top computer move. There's h5, there's knight c6. So h5 seems to be something that people are going to play at my level. I want to look at the best way to fight against a5 is to play g3 and then bishop b4. You can go a3. If the bishop takes, we want to take like this. So let's go back to the recommendation from the course, which is f4. After d5 we play knight f3. After knight c6 we play e3, bishop g4, h3. If bishop takes on f3, we takes back, and black had decided to deviate from knight c6 and played e6. Then we go knight c3 anyways. So I'm thinking d4 doesn't work because the pawn on b7 hangs, and if bishop b4, we go g4 immediately without wasting any time. We go g4 immediately, striking on the king side. So let's go g4. If bishop takes, we take with the b pawn, and if knight d7 here, we go d3 anyways. So if castles, we immediately want to strike at this side. So we've studied 2 lines from the course, and this will be close to an hour of the stream. So to wrap it up, I'll probably want to do 1 or 2 puzzles in the bed position, so that actually helps you. I think that actually helps you a lot. So you probably want to, like, get some puzzle done in that specific opening. So to do that, you go to puzzles, themes, and you browse for puzzle theme you want to look at. Openings. So puzzle openings, which is, one sec, need to go back. Looking for a way to be able to see all those openings. So you go here, you search for the bird. So there's the bird opening, and we are studying the Dutch variation, so you want to look at puzzles in the Dutch variation. So puzzles in the Dutch variation. So if we go knight c5 by black, white to move. Wow, this is a very unique Dutch, or bed rather. If we take here now, let's say we take on h6, knight takes d3, king takes d3, there's rook d8, and after king e2, rook takes, black can decide to get the bishop back on h6, but after rook d8 check, bishop f8, I don't think there's anything more to do there. But at the end of that line, we'll be up 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and I think same for black as well. So what's the best way to move on? White to move, what's the move? I mean, f6 look interesting because after knight takes d3, we can even play c d3, and this bishop cannot keep defending the knight. So I think f6 is the move, and we take here, which is the move. So one more puzzle to wrap up the stream. So we can see how that position arrives. So immediately, so this is another setup in the bed, which is after an f3. White can decide to go here, but that's no move. And after this, we are down a pawn, but there's a lot of initiative in this structure. So let's do one more puzzle from the bed. Let's see, we are playing from the black side now. Knight e4, black to move. What is the move? Something that immediately comes to mind is rook takes h1 check, and after king takes h1, we have queen h4 check, and if the king moves, here is queen h2 check, and if the king goes here, then we have queen h1 checkmate. If we decide to go queen h4 first, I think that preempts. If queen h4 first, there's always knight g3, and after knight g3, queen h2 check, king f. If king f2, I think the king escapes to the queen side. So let's see if sacrificing the rook works. That works. So here we go here, and white is not in time to create a luft for his king. So we go here, and that is checkmate. So probably one more to wrap up the stream. So white has decided to play queen e2 to trade the queen. Let's see if we have got something better. So this immediately comes to mind because there's a pin on g2, and if we take here, if white decides to take with the rook, the queen is hanging, and if white decided that after knight check, it comes here, and we have checkmate here. So let's go, and we pick up the queen. So thank you very much for viewing. Thank you for the follow. I will be streaming tomorrow because I've got a lot of free time tomorrow. We'll be playing some blitz and bullets on Lichess and probably chess.com, because I struggle playing faster time control on Lichess because you can't actually pre-move. So I think that makes a lot of changes. So thank you so much for the stream. This is going to be the end of the stream. Thank you. See you later.